good evening, good day, wherever you are. The main reason of this video, Arcturus, me kitty, 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 me here. It's daylight savings this weekend, and that's super important. I've been kind of just chilling, really relaxing all day today. I did a little San Pedro plant. For those of you who don't know, you can look it up. Really helps mellow me out when there's like this. There's always like this stagnant energy, but the stagnant energy is filled with like anxiety and angst, and I know it's not mine, but the San Pedro helps bring clarity to it and clear it up. I also did a little bit of rape to like ground it, so sorry if I spit. And Arcturus is gonna be our guide today. Hi Arcturus, I love you. She's a street cat. She does not come inside my trailer, but I feed her every morning and every night, or in the evening I should say. She's a skittish cat, and that tends to happen when you take kittens or cats from the street and you decide to traumatize them and take them to a hospital or a vet clinic or whatever, clip them of their kitty parts, and then clip their ear, and then throw them back out in the streets and expect them to like be a normal cat. And I'm like in a very, I don't know, I'm in like a state of, not confusion, but like I'm in battle with it, because I get they do that so that the cats don't keep reproducing, and there's like cats everywhere that are getting diseases, stuff like that. But either way, there's definitely a way better way to go about that. So gradually she's been I don't know, she keeps all of the other little critters away. She brings me lizards and even rats sometimes. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, she keeps the territory clear, I guess. Like one of my, anyways, daylight savings, super important. Like I said, I've been chilling all day today and just bathing in the fact that a lot of humanity and a lot of like the collective flu people get to depart from their timelines of delusion. And when I say that, it's because like I forget like what all countries follow daylight savings, or do the turn the hour back or whatever. It's the US, Canada, Europe, Cuba. I forget what other, I don't think there's too many. I don't even think Australia follows daylight savings. Oh, that was a good one. Yeah, clear it out. They don't, yeah, and you know, it gets everybody off of their karmic timelines to the fact like, hey, not everybody's on your fucking timeline. And you know, daylight savings started, I think Benjamin Franklin was the one that first like epitomized or brought the idea of daylight savings, said we should turn the clocks back because and so that we keep the, not the machine, but like keep the powerhouse of, you know, people who were under, actually I think the like kind of, I want to say Roman Empire timeline. I don't know, I just know that Benjamin Franklin was the one who proposed the idea, and everybody went along with it. Now, I like Benjamin Franklin. The U.S. wouldn't be where it is without him today. However, the more you dive deep into Benjamin Franklin and what he did, he was a very clever man, but he kind of threw a lot of people under the bus as well, if you really look true and deep into the language. And there's specific people that know what I'm talking about with that there, and if you want to learn more, just message me or whatever. But he was technically, during the Revolutionary War, he did get France to borrow like francs over to Europe or America so that we could have the Continental Army, or be resourced for the Continental Army. But there is a lot of flabber or falsality or fraudulence going on with that. And also, just a caveat, like where do we get timelines from? Like, where do they originate from? And I'm going to refer you to Jonny Harris. He is a Gemini. He has a whole YouTube video series where he goes on little spigot, like he loves geography, he loves history, and he loves how maps are formed. And he did one on why or where and how we get time zones from. And time zones are actually all centralized to England, you know. So it's like we're following this timeline of like the British Empire still, or the British Imperial, or like the English imperialism. Yeah, so I'm gonna refer you to him to look at that video. Maybe I think I'll add him or whatever, or I'll put his link below. But yeah, I've been bathing in this kind of like tranquility all day today, because I think there's a lot of pressure that has been relieved, like mentally wise, because a lot of people's finances are like fraudulent economy or whatever, that energy depends on that clock to keep ticking, when it's not. The universe is not on that clock. The universe just is. It's just here. So a lot of Western societies function on that clock. So, and also like in the Middle East with all the war and stuff going on, it's like, why did this conflict start? It's because people are trying to get other people to like believe what they believe, or you know, believe this way when it's just not that way. Like, everybody's an individual. You can like talk to each other about it, but if somebody doesn't believe or understand where you're coming from, or who you are, or what you understand in this world, and then you just like, you know, hate them because they don't understand, that's your fault. So yeah, daylight savings around this time is very important. Also, I think Saturn is back, it went direct, and I don't know if it's in Capricorn or Aquarius. I don't know, but that means like the real people's time. We're like real people. I like to call myself real. I knew not. The only time I really ever see myself wearing masks is only to figure out more information about other people's bullshit because they're wearing masks. So I'm like, okay, I'll play your game to figure out why you're playing a game. Yeah. There is another reason. A lot of like what I see going on today in this. So I saw this. I'll just say it. I saw this video about this teacher teaching about pronouns and to this class of students. This was this morning. This was today, and I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, and I like. First of all, I felt bad for the kids or the students, because why do they need to know your pronouns? Like, what is that? And then I was like, the kids kind of started questioning the teacher, which I was excited about. They handled it like well, so that gave me kind of hope for Gen Z or like students in that situation, because they're kind of having a little fun with it, and they're questioning the teacher too. They're like, does the principal know that you're teaching this curriculum? And that question actually brought up a very good point, in the sense of like how problems arise within like schools or like the systems, and how they've corroded over time. It has a lot to do with like technology and not being direct in communicating or connecting with people. Essentially not dealing with things. When you deal with stuff like directly and respectfully, you don't have to worry about getting upset or whatever. You understand and can correct the situation. But problems today have arisen from people not dealing with shit over time and expecting them to be a certain way. Oh, there's just this little bug. So the teacher said something like, or the Z's or Zem teacher. I feel bad for him or her. Darren was the teacher's name, even though it looked like a female. So I don't know. It's just a really confusing thing, because one of the kids even mentioned was like, aren't we supposed to be learning about like geography or something, but we're learning, why are you teaching us about this? So, and back to sorry, I jumped around a little bit, but back to the first question that the student asked was like, does the principal know that you're teaching this to us or whatever? And he or them or whatever responded that I actually never had any problem with the principal. We usually just he responds to me as teacher Darren or whatever, and I don't really talk to him except through email and other things. So like, as small as the email thing, right? How they communicate. This really fucking just, this is like the epitome of problems, because this is, you know how everybody always talks about like codependency or narcissism or whatever, empaths? People have become so dependent on technology that they take that sort of communication seriously as like an emotional and logical thing, and that's a no-go. Technology just gives data, and it can express factual information, or what was said without any like other context involved, any other like emotional thing involved. So like, when you don't communicate with somebody face to face, so much information and so much like actual reality can get lost in translation. So that obviously left a huge room space open for all these like really weird liberals or really weird deluded people to take charge and be like, this is me, I'm a zay, zem, her, z, zlal, I don't know. And when I started to like watch the video over and over again, and I tried to like look and see like where this person is coming from, and what happened was this zay or zem person, who I want to say there's in their young 20s, to be teaching this class to, I don't know. It looked to be as though that person was never actually just respected or acknowledged as a child, as an individual person, or even loved. For them to be so entitled to be like, this is me now, respect this, or I don't respect you. And it's like a power respect thing. So at some point during that person's development, because actually at the age of 20 or your early 20s, your brain still is developing. That person, like, something clicked or snapped and they believe this indoctrination now, and they want respect from other people, but people can't give them the respect that they need or require because they don't even know. They don't even know they've been fucked up in the head. Like, it's really sad. The kids handled it pretty well, though, because they started kind of joking around, because it had some of the pronouns at the bottom were like per, p, or something like that, and they were like, what's the last one there, perp or per, or how do you pronounce that, per? And they're like, so I don't know, maybe I'll share the link a few days in a row so people can see it. But yeah, a lot of these power tripping people who are in these political or even like systematic positions, they don't have any power. They really truly don't have any power, other than the fact that they can display their stupidity and their unfortunate, like, deluded indoctrination, essential trauma onto other people, and they can just show you how bad the delusion is, or the evil that's going on, I should say. That brings me to another point, or the last point is, I did a video, I don't know, maybe a week or so ago, about calling the Department of basically I want to talk to Anthony Blinken, which is Secretary of State. And I just saw a video of him yesterday, this is a day ago, where he was addressing humanitarian decrease in aid to Gaza, I think. Was it Gaza or whatever? But he said something. I never got a hold of Anthony Blinken, because that whole administration or any sort of that matrix does not, it's completely compartmentalized. Those people are they don't understand, like, holistic thinking. They don't understand true power, and they don't, like, it speaks for itself that they arose in those positions, because people who have true power, they do not go outside of themselves to seek those positions, because the power is already within them. They don't need to seek that position to achieve power. Do you get what I'm saying? Anyways, I feel like I have a dent there. I never got a hold of Anthony Blinken. I was directed to the Department of Homeland Security, Department of Humorous Shit. Department of Humorous Shit is what I'm gonna call it now, because that's what it was. It was like talking to a fucking wall. Actually, it wasn't even talking to a wall. It was talking to a... It wasn't even like talking to a cat. It was like talking to another deluded person. Anyways, I was watching this video with Anthony Blinken, and he said something along the lines about decreasing aid to Gaza or Israel or whatever, and I was like, you guys already fucking gave the green light to give more American taxpayer dollars or aid to wherever in the Middle East, to Israel or to Iran or whatever. So the damage is already done, and you're just there for what? And then he said something along the lines of, like, for whoever else was involved as well as, and he said, this is the word he said actors involved. And that's where I was like, oh wow, he said actors, because they are actors. They're actors. They have no power. They're just acting a role. They're in theater. They're just playing a part in this fucked up system that everybody is like giving their energy to, or the humans kind of like computerized it to be, because that's where they're getting their fucking orders from, is the computer. And anybody can put anything on computer cyberspace now, and it's not real. It's not true. It won't work. That will never work within humanity. At least not for, like, it won't work for false individuals who are playing a role and who have not accepted, like, the parts of themselves that are calcified or are traumatized, and they haven't addressed and healed those things within themselves. So that construct will fail. So the only concerning part about that is, like, you know, a lot of that construct involves the military, police officers, people with, like, I don't know, more resources and, you know, like gunpower or even like manpower. I can understand why that's a concern, but also, I don't know, just from my own experience, I'm just like, it's just gonna be a shit show, if you ask me. Like, it's, I don't know, you're more likely to get injured by yourself than, you know, one of these dumb idiots, like, trying to get you. Like, I've offered, I'm like, all right, you, like, to the Department of Homeland Security, and what was the other one? The one a long time ago that essentially, the DOD, the FBI, true Commander-in-Chief Russell J. Gold calls them the fumbling, bumbling idiots, and that's fucking true. There's so much bullshit that goes on with that. All of them, like, the IRS, any IRS agents, come to my house, come to my trailer. I would like to have a discussion with you. Please do this. And, you know, a lot of these times these fucking idiots won't do it because they don't even know what they're doing. They don't know where they're getting their true commands and orders from. They're just like, well, code 25431 or like blah 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 says this. Okay, well, where did and why did that code or law or legality originate from? You don't even know. And that's the thing, is like, there's a difference between man's law and there's a difference between, I don't know, God's law, if you will, or like laws of the universe. Huge difference. There's difference in, like, how people interpret things too. You know, and there's a problem too, is like, people don't understand female bodies or like the cycles of the planet. Like, it's just like, or no, I shouldn't even say that. I should say just their own emotions and where they derive from, because emotion is just energy in motion. So yeah, that's a 23-minute video. I want people to realize that it's daylight savings. Get off the fucking timeline bullshit. Look at the stars. Look at where you are in time and space, and know that we're still moving. And, you know that, or be grateful that there is no war where you're at. There's no conflict. And I'm not saying don't, like, ignore reality, because clearly I'm like, I love where I live, but there's definitely things that I don't like about it, like the cars that go by, or like the constant, like, or the constant, what is it? The constant on feeling of the city, as well as like constantly knowing and feeling where those fucking cell towers are, pinging constantly. And yeah, probably frying my eggs. They're resistant, if I have any. Or they're like enduring little fuckers. But yeah, just keep that different perspective, or understand that different perspective. Know your history, know your facts, and I wish you deep peace and deep gratitude and tranquility to feel deeply and transmute what you feel necessary to transmute. Yeah. That's it.